Did you switch to Tomato Energy, chasing those low prices? Well, Tomato appear to be in trouble. Here's what you need to know, and here's what you need to be able to make a decision as to what you need to do next. So let's start with a little timeline on what's been happening at Tomato Energy. So back end of last year, in the late part of 2024, a banner appeared on Tomato's website saying they were temporarily not accepting new registrations for both business and domestic customers. That banner is still there today. Now, all went quiet through January and February. Then in March, a website that tracks legal cases showed up that a petition had been filed to wind up Tomato Energy by a company called USmart Limited. Now, I don't have any information on who USmart are, but generally to file a petition to wind up a company generally means that you are a creditor that is owed money. Then just this month, in April, OFGEM issued a provisional order, and that provisional order gave some very strict conditions to Tomato Energy that they needed to fulfill. Now, at the same time, a company called Elexon. Now, you might not be familiar with Elexon, but Elexon flagged a financial risk through what's known as a public notification that Tomato Energy's lack of progress against their EFR milestones. Now, let's dig into who are Elexon and why is this important. Elexon operates and manages what is known as the BSC system, the Balancing and Settlement Code. Basically, they're the middleman that sits between the generators and the providers to make sure that when your energy provider buys energy, that after it's all been delivered through the national grid, that everybody gets settled up and accounts are kept good. Now, Elexon tracks how well suppliers like Tomato Energy are meeting their obligations, how quickly they're paying their creditors, making sure that everything is settled. If you go outside of the agreed norms, then Elexon will issue a public notification. And this is basically a red flag to the industry that this company is potentially in trouble. And in their notification, they said that Tomato Energy poses a financial risk to the wider energy industry. Now, at this point, Elexon notifies OFGEM, who are the regulator, and says basically, this company is in trouble. You need to step in as the regulator and sort this out. OFGEM then issued a provisional order that banned Tomato Energy from taking on new customers. They said in their statement that there were £3 million of unpaid debts. There were capital and liquidity issues. They breached their standard license conditions by getting into this position in the first place, and they were failing to meet the settlement obligations that Elexon had put in place, known as their EFR status. All of that aside, where we are today is that Tomato are still not taking on new customers. But if you are a customer of Tomato Energy, you have some decisions to make. Now, really, you only have two choices. You can hold the course, you can hope that they sort everything out, that they pay their debts and they start trading again as a normal energy company. Or you can change suppliers before it's too late. Now, let's assume that the worst happens and Tomato Energy ceases trading. That means that all customers of Tomato Energy will become customers of what's known as the supplier of last resort. This is a process where OFGEM will basically hand those customers over to another energy provider. Now, for anyone who's been through this, many companies have folded, so many people have commented on previous videos that they've been through this exact process and it takes months to resolve. In some recent cases, anywhere up to 9 to 12 months. Now, in that 9 to 12 month period, you still got to pay your bills, because just because a company goes bust doesn't mean that you get away with not paying your bills. As I said in a previous video, the system is heavily stacked against us. So you will have to continue paying for your electricity. But as you are transferred to a new provider, they'll probably transfer you to their standard tariff, because they don't have any history with you. They don't know anything about you at this point. So everybody gets moved across to the standard tariff. Now, you might remain on that standard tariff, as I say, for 9 to 12 months. Now, if you went to Tomato Energy because you were getting a smart tariff with low cost energy, you might suddenly find you're paying an awful lot more for your energy. you will have no control at this point. Until such time as it all gets worked out with your new provider, you won't be able to change tariff. You won't even be able to change provider. So if you are worried that if you were to be transferred to somebody else, now is the time to start looking for a new energy provider. Now, I should say at this point, this can be a little bit delicate because obviously if everybody suddenly jumps ship, the likelihood is it will push Tomato Energy under even quicker. So I'm not recommending that everybody suddenly finds a new energy provider, but everybody needs to make that decision on what's right for you and your family. If you are considering switching, I would certainly consider switching to a more stable provider, one of the larger companies. Now, again, as most people who've been on my channel know, I'm a big fan of Octopus Energy, but I'm not saying jump ship, go to Octopus. If you're looking for low cost tariffs, then Eon Next Drive is a good example. And there are other tariffs out there as well from other providers, but a more stable supplier. There are plenty of price comparison tools out there. The one with the Russian speaking rats, Compare the Market. Is it Compare the Market or Go Compare? One of the two. Or both of them. But there are plenty of sites out there that will let you compare your usage and find out what's the best tariff for you. Also check if there are any exit fees. Now, I think it'd be pretty harsh of Tomato Energy to try and charge exit fees if you were leaving because they were in financial trouble, but that will be totally dependent upon your contract. But really, what I'm saying is act proactively now. Don't wait for surprises. Now, as I say, this is a completely personal decision. My objective here isn't to get everybody to leave Tomato Energy and collapse the company. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is everybody should look at their own situation. If you are a customer of Tomato Energy and if you were to be moved to a standard tariff on another provider, that would be a financial problem for you, then act now. So if you're watching this video and you're not a Tomato Energy customer, but you might know people who are, maybe there are other members of your family who are on it, then please do warn them that this is going on because they may have no indication. They might think that everything is rosy and they're just ticking along and they might get a shock if Tomato Energy were to collapse. Now, I will obviously keep everybody up to date, so if you'd like to get updates on this as things progress, then please do hit that like and subscribe button. But please do not wait until it's too late.